what attracted you to do this movie? And this is your first feature film or second?
I did a small independent movie in the UK, low budget, and this is my first studio movie, which is very different. The emotional quality of the movie really attracted me. The complexity of the emotional relationships really drew me in almost from the very beginning, because that's the area that I'm particularly interested in.
And where was this filmed?
It was filmed on Tybee Island in Georgia, which is a tiny island where people still leave their doors unlocked and everybody knows everybody. It's a beautiful, idyllic place.
One of the scenes was the turtle scene. Can you tell me more about that? How you gathered all these turtle eggs or and let them out in the sea?
Well, we worked with the Georgia turtle experts. We worked very closely with them, and they were very cooperative with us. Basically what happened, the turtles, right, what happened with the turtles were it was so complicated. They came up, they dig their way up through the sand, yes, and then they walk to the ocean. But always when the turtles do this, there are a few left in the nest that cannot make their way to the ocean. So our friend, the turtle guy, we call him, Mark, he took these turtles and brought them to us. These were turtles that would not have survived. And we filmed those turtles walking towards the ocean.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
And how was it working with Miley? This is your first time working with her?
Yes, she's a fantastic person. She's so disciplined and tenacious and emotionally brave. I loved working with her. I think you'll find that most directors would say the same thing about working with her.
She said this was her best summer ever.
Oh, that's so lovely.
So the chemistry between the two of them with Liam is also amazing. So how was it setting the mood for them? Especially they have a lot of kissing scenes there too.
It didn't take, the chemistry was there right away. We did the very first day, we shot the scene where Miley and Liam are in the water for the love montage, is what I call it. They're throwing water at each other. That was shot on the very first day. And as soon as I shot that scene, I knew the chemistry's there, we're going to be all right.
And what was the most difficult scene? It's a very emotional movie for you. What was the most difficult scene to film?
There were a lot of scenes that were difficult for me, apart from anything else. I found them emotionally difficult to tackle. There was one scene where Bobby, the boy, has to say goodbye to his father. That's a sad scene. The scenes where the couple break up, that on the beach, that was a difficult scene to tackle. But they were difficult, but also in a good way. It was challenging in a good way to do those scenes, and challenging for Miley to take on that emotional role.
What do you tell Miley, or how do you prepare her for these kinds of scenes where they have to really cry and be emotional?
Miley is very emotionally accessible. She tends to imagine herself in the same situation as the character. So she would imagine herself going through the same situation that Ronnie was going through, and in that way she would emotionally access the areas that she needed to. So sometimes I would go to her and I would nudge her one way or another. I'd say, we're not really getting there. But she would generally know the ballpark that she needed to be in. She's very directable.
How about working with Liam? This is his first big feature film too.
You wouldn't know it's his first big feature film because he's so just present and confident on set. He has a tremendous presence just for a young guy who was putting down floors only 3 months before. He's remarkable in that way. My editor would phone me and say, Liam, is he really? he hasn't really done a role as big as this. It's amazing. He's so confident. And she would phone me and say, he's such a professional. He's so prepared. So.
And is it true originally he wasn't set for this role and then he got the role by audition or something?
Yeah, he got the role. He came in and just blew us away with his presence. Really, he was remarkable. Have you met him?
Not yet.
Oh, wait till you do. You'll see what we saw in him.
Okay, and working with Nicholas?
Nicholas Sparks, yes. Of course, he's a giant in the world of literature. I wasn't aware of his work coming from the UK, but he understands human emotions so profoundly. It's really great to work with somebody who is prepared to give our characters this epic canvas to work within emotionally.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever dealt with teenage rebellion while you were growing up?
Was I a teenage
Yes.
rebel? Of course.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo to prove it. Oh, I think we've all been there. We all understand we all understand what Ronnie's going through. I lived in Africa and then moved to a small town in the UK. And I was confused when we got there. I had a difficult time, so I could identify with Ronnie in that way.
Mm-hmm. And how did your parents handle that?
I think they were very patient with me, really. They encouraged my love of drama, and I think that was my outlet, was my love of directing, my love of drama. That was what got me through.
Mm-hmm. And how is it working now with a big studio and small firm or small studio before or indie?
They were fantastically supportive. They were always there for me. They knew this was my first feature, and if I ever had any issues or any questions, I would just go to the studio and say, what do I do? And, you're talking to people who've done 30 movies and they've been there before. Nothing is frightening for them. So they help me every step of the way, really.
Mm-hmm. And what's next for you?
For me, I'm still considering scripts. I'm getting sent a lot of scripts, which is really nice. I haven't decided which movie. It's such a big thing to take on a movie, and I have 2 young kids. So I'm still deciding which feature I'm going to do next. I probably will do a pilot. I do a lot of pilots. I work in the TV world as well, so I'll probably take on a pilot next and still look for what the next move is feature-wise.